3 billion. That's the number of pizzas Americans consume each year. That means nearly 100 slices of pizza are consumed every second. Does that sound familiar? Perhaps your own family also contributes to that enormous number. But behind that seemingly harmless dish lies a harsh truth. There are pizzas that contain more chemicals than a laboratory. The sauce was turned into sweet syrup. The cheese was half real and half fake, and the crust was full of preservatives to last for weeks in cold storage, with some places even combining leftover pizza slices to make a new one. What's even scarier, each slice of pizza like this can load your body with enough sodium and preservatives to make a cardiologist shake their head. Of course, all the information I'm sharing today is based on public reports, scandals, and reflections from various sources. This is not an absolute conclusion for each store, but rather a general overview of the industry. So, in the next few minutes, let's go through 5 pizza brands that you should be extremely wary of. And trust me, when you know the truth, you'll never look at pizza the same way again. Do you know what Domino's is most famous for? It's not because of the crispy crust, not because of the overflowing cheese, but because of the 30-minute door-to-door delivery. It sounds appealing, especially to busy parents. Oh, the kids are hungry. Just call Domino's and it's right there. But behind that speed of light lies a truth that will shock you. In 2009, the then CEO of Domino's, Patrick Doyle, had to go on TV and admit, "Our pizza tastes like cardboard." Surprise, but that was the turning point that helped them improve the formula. Customers applauded, and Domino's launched a massive marketing campaign. The new pizza is much better. But you know, repainting an old house doesn't make the rotten foundation disappear. In reality, the system that races against the clock remains unchanged. Domino's dough is still industrially mixed, frozen, mass-shipped, and then thawed. Does that sound okay? Nowhere. To meet the speed, pizzas are often pulled out of the oven before they are fully cooked, then kept warm under heat lamps or in insulated bags during delivery. It sounds like pizza was exercising mid-workout and then got dragged off to run a marathon. And this is the worrying part. An undercooked pizza can allow E. coli or salmonella to survive. The CDC reports that there are up to 48 million cases of food poisoning in the United States each year. Enough to fill Yankee Stadium 24 times over. Do you want family dinner to turn into a statistical jackpot? The so-called better pizza isn't a miraculous improvement either. The tomato sauce is still mostly corn syrup, and the cheese is mixed with oil to melt faster rather than melt better. And remember, when Domino's employees are pressured by the pizza tracker, the infamous countdown clock, the first thing to be sacrificed is hygiene. There were employees who frankly recounted, "We didn't have time to wash our hands or sanitize the knives and cutting boards because customers needed the pizza right away." What does that mean? Mushrooms, meat, vegetables, all coexisting on a single cutting board like a bacterial buffet. Hearing this, many people are probably feeling both worried and scared, and might even exclaim, "Oh, how many times have I taken my child to Domino's?" But the good news is that you don't have to accept this toxic speed. If you want fast pizza that's still real pizza, try Blaze Pizza. They also deliver quickly. It only takes about 3 minutes to bake a pizza over high heat. But the dough has only 5 simple ingredients, and the sauce is made from ripe tomatoes with no chemicals or additives. It's still the convenience parents need, but without sacrificing their children's health. Domino's gives you speed, but at too high a price. And if you think Domino's is worrying, just wait for the next brand. Because there, the issue isn't speed, but rather the childhood memories of an entire generation being turned away. Do you still remember the first time your parents took you to Chuck E. Cheese? For many American families, it was once a childhood paradise. But then that paradise is in danger of collapsing right at the dinner table. A few years ago, popular YouTuber broke the internet when he released a video pointing out that the pizza at Chuck E. Cheese doesn't fit together. One pizza, but some slices are big, some are small, Some parts have cheese overflowing the crust, while others are bare like a desert. Some pieces don't even match the pieces next to them. Thus arose the hypothesis: is Chuck E. Cheese reusing customers' leftover pizza slices, combining them to make new ones, even though the company denies it? But honestly, do you really need a conspiracy theory when the final product looks exactly like Frankenstein's pizza? A clumsily assembled pizza, even without Photoshop, it's obvious. Millions of parents are starting to wonder, how many times have I fed my child this misshapen pizza just for a few hours of playtime? But don't think the problem is just about appearances. In reality, the quality at Chuck E. Cheese was never quite what they advertised. Crust. It's like a rubber ball. The sauce. It's cloyingly sweet, more like corn syrup mixed with ketchup than actual tomatoes. Cheese. Less than 40% is real mozzarella, the rest is vegetable oil and additives. Additionally, the restaurant environment. Children running every place, touching game machines, toys, and then touching the pizza itself. The staff are constantly moving from the amusement park to the kitchen area, and hand hygiene, often overlooked. According to sanitation inspection reports, many Chuck E. Cheese locations have been fined for cross-contamination and storing food at incorrect temperatures. Honestly, parents are willing to put up with bad pizza as long as their children are happy. But when the issue also involves food safety, that trust also collapses. Of course, as parents, no one wants their children to have to put those things in their stomachs. So, what's the solution for parents? If you want a place that's both cheap and a bit fun for your child without sacrificing quality, try Costco Pizza. It sounds surprising, but Costco food court pizza consistently ranks high in the industry. Dough made on site, sauce from fresh tomatoes, 100% mozzarella cheese. And importantly, the price is still super cheap, equal to or cheaper than some Chuck E. Cheese combos. Chuck E. Cheese was once a symbol of childhood, but now all that remains is a misshapen pizza that looks like a joke. And if this makes you exclaim in exasperation, then brace yourself, because the next brand will send shivers down your spine even more, with pizza so cheap that even the employees don't dare eat it. Have you ever heard the saying, "You get what you pay for"? With Little Caesars, this saying is chillingly accurate. This brand is famous for its hot and ready deal. $5 pizzas, ready to go, grab and go. It sounds like a golden deal, especially for large families. It's cheap, fast, and convenient. But if even the company's employees don't dare to eat the pizza they make, should you really give it to your children? The most remarkable story was not told by the customers, but by the kitchen staff themselves. Many former Little Caesars employees have openly shared. "We often brought lunch from home. We never ate pizza here." Try stopping for a moment and thinking, if the person preparing the food is also avoiding it, where is the dish trustworthy? There's no shortage of reasons. The reasons are plentiful. Dough. It's not naturally fermented, but chemically treated to rise in a few dozen minutes. Bite into it, and it feels like chewing Play-Doh with toppings. Tomato sauce? Actually, it's tomato concentrate diluted with water, corn syrup, plus a huge amount of salt. What about cheese? Only about 60% is real, the rest is milk protein and vegetable oil playing the role of mozzarella. Pepperoni. Could this be the last hope? Too bad, no. It's just called that, but it's actually a mixture of meat scraps, starch and fillers, dyed red to look like real meat. It sounds like a piece of meat, but when you eat it, it tastes like rubber with a salty flavor. Now imagine this. Those hot and ready pizzas are often made in advance and sit under heat lamps for hours on end. According to the FDA, food left out for more than 2 hours at an unstable temperature becomes an ideal environment for bacteria to multiply, meaning that the $5 pizza that seems so popular could actually be a breeding ground for bacteria ready to enter your stomach. Perhaps hearing this, many people want to burst out laughing sarcastically. Oh my, what more could you ask for $5? But there are also those who shudder. How many times have I fed my child this? Just because it's cheap and convenient? Many parents often think that if pizza is cheap, it must be less tasty, but they don't realize it also comes with health risks. So, what's the solution? If you really need cheap pizza, don't rush to choose Little Caesars meat-flavored rubber. Instead, try a local pizza place in your neighborhood. Many family-owned shops still sell $7 to $8 pizzas, only slightly more expensive than a Little Caesars latte. But in return, you get fresh dough made on site, real cheese, and sauce from naturally ripened tomatoes, without any chemicals. The price is still reasonable, and the quality is far superior. Little Caesars gives you cheap, but at the expense of both safety and flavor. And if you thought cheap and dangerous was bad enough, just wait until you see the next brand, a name that was once the king of pizza in our memories, but is now just a source of utter disappointment. Perhaps for many of us, Pizza Hut is more than just a brand. It used to be a whole family event. But that's a story from the past, because the Pizza Hut of today is no longer the king we once admired. That legendary pan pizza, back in the day, was made with fresh dough, kneaded on site, and allowed to rise naturally. Now what? Frozen dough is produced industrially, transported every place, and then reheated. The crispy, fragrant crust that once made the brand famous has now become a soggy, mushy layer after just a few minutes in the delivery box. And what about the stuffed crust? A source of pride in its time. Back then, employees actually stuffed fresh mozzarella cheese into the crust. Now, most of it is just processed cheese, pre-filled into frozen shells, which looks nice but tastes bland and artificially greasy. A sophisticated trick, nostalgia packaging, industrial content. What's even sadder is that when Pizza Hut tried to compete with Domino's or Little Caesars on speed and low price, they cut off their own soul. The result? Revenue in the US has been declining steadily, and between 2015 and 2020 alone, over 500 dine-in Pizza Hut restaurants were forced to close. That's right, the place that used to be a family gathering spot is now just a memory. Many people feel disappointed, because Pizza Hut is part of my childhood. But when I order a pizza today, what I get is ketchup mixed with flour disguised as tomato sauce, along with a layer of stale frozen crust. It's like meeting an old friend after 20 years and realizing they've lost everything that once made them special. But the good news is, if you still crave that feeling of pizza being a family event, there's a better option. Mode Pizza. They maintain the spirit of Pizza Hut's golden age. Fresh dough made on site, abundant toppings, each pizza ordered individually for each customer, but with the addition of a transparent open kitchen and fresh, clean ingredients daily. This is the modern upgrade of the old Pizza Hut experience. Pizza Hut once wore the crown of the pizza industry. But when they traded their identity for profit, that crown fell into the mud. And if this leaves you feeling both regretful and angry, just wait for the next brand, where the betrayal is even more bitter, because it's hidden behind a seemingly perfect slogan: better ingredients, better pizza. If Domino's is known for speed and Pizza Hut once had a royal aura, Papa John's built its entire brand around a truly convincing slogan: better ingredients, better pizza. Just hearing it makes you feel warm, doesn't it? A large chain that dares to promise transparency and freshness. This is what millions of parents believe in. But unfortunately, the reality is far different. Take the example of the never-frozen dough they are proud of. It sounds like fresh bread every day, but in reality, that dough is flavored with all sorts of preservatives to extend its shelf life. It's true that it's not frozen, but it's been chemically preserved to survive for days without spoiling. Fresh or freshly preserved? And what about pepperoni, the topping kids love the most? A tiny slice can contain up to 740 milligrams of sodium. To put it into perspective, that's already 1/3 of the maximum daily sodium intake recommended by the CDC. Just by eating 3 slices, you're already close to the salt intake limit warned about by cardiologists. And remember, who eats pizza and stops at 3 slices? And that's not all. The experience of hot pizza is also full of flaws. Papa John's pizzas are often kept in thermal bags for too long, traveling through multiple environments, hot then cold, much like teenage moods, sunny in the morning, rainy in the afternoon. The result? By the time the pizza reaches you, it's soggy, lost its texture, and worse, could fall into the danger zone for bacteria if the temperature isn't controlled. Surely many people will be unable to hide their disappointment upon hearing these things. Because a brand that dares to claim better ingredients but goes against that promise is no different from betraying consumer trust. The insight here is very powerful. Parents aren't just afraid of bad pizza, they hate being tricked. A slice of pizza is not just food, but also a belief in the safety of children. The good news is you won't have to endure the situation of slogans being one thing and reality being another. If you want truly transparent pizza, choose chains like Blaze Pizza or Mod Pizza. They publicly share the recipe. The dough has only a few basic ingredients. The sauce is made from real tomatoes with no hidden sugar or preservatives. What they promise, you can see with your own eyes through the open kitchen. Better ingredients here is meant literally, not as a marketing gimmick. Can you believe it? Cici's Pizza, the buffet chain once touted as a cheap pizza paradise, is now on the list of pizza chains to avoid at all costs. What shocked many parents was the terrible discrepancy between the promises and the reality. You thought you were going to have a delicious meal for the whole family, but instead, you got pizza slices as dry as cardboard and cheese as chewy as rubber. Even more frightening, this brand is consistently ranked low by many food review websites, making it a familiar face on the list of the worst pizza chains in the United States. An internal survey of the US F&B industry once showed that over 70% of pizza buffet diners believe the taste deteriorates after just 20 minutes on the counter, meaning you just waited in line for pizza and by the time you got back to your table, the quality had plummeted. Imagine paying to eat comfortably, but having to eat pieces of cake that lose their deliciousness faster than the price of gasoline during a crisis. If you translate it into everyday terms, it's like buying a ticket to a water park, but as soon as you put on your life jacket, the pool is completely drained. American parents who came to Cici's hoping for a fun, affordable meal for the whole family now feel cheated. Instead of joy, they received cardboard-like pizzas sprinkled with industrial cheese. The children eagerly entered but quickly became disappointed when the food wasn't good. And the parents just sat there, pursing their lips and thinking about the money they had just spent on a forgettable experience. But wait, not every door is closed. If you're a parent, be cautious when choosing cheap pizza buffet chains. Instead of just looking at the tempting all-you-can-eat buffet, try checking reviews on reputable websites before taking your child. Invest a few extra dollars for a truly delicious and safe meal. Or if you want to save money, why not try making pizza at home yourself? Simple ingredients, easy to control quality, and importantly, it will be a truly bonding family experience. The story of Cici's Pizza is a reminder. Cheap doesn't necessarily mean good. In the list of 5 pizza chains to avoid at all costs, parents beware, Cici's became a symbol of disappointment. And when it comes to feeding their children, no parent wants to turn family dinner into a battle with cheese-covered cardboard. So after 6 brands, we see a clear picture. They don't sell pizza, they sell speed, false memories, cheap prices, old-fashioned glamour, and even empty slogans, all wrapped in a crust of industrial dough. But you have the right to choose differently, because pizza really does still exist, and if you just decide not to support the hidden chemicals in it anymore, family dinner can return to its true meaning: delicious, safe, and worthy of your child's smile. After going through the 6 biggest pizza brands, you've probably realized a harsh truth. The American industrial pizza industry is on the brink of a race to the bottom, where speed, profit, and marketing are more important than the quality and health of your family. Domino's traded safety for speed. Chuck E. Cheese betrayed childhood memories. Little Caesars was so cheap that even employees avoided it. Pizza Hut lost its crown, and Papa John's turned its slogan into a joke. But don't despair too quickly. Pizza is not the enemy. Pizza really does still exist. Brands like Blaze Pizza, MOD Pizza, Costco Food Court, and especially local pizza shops are still going strong, using fresh dough, real tomato sauce, and pure cheese. There, pizza isn't an industrial product, but still a family bonding dish. And this is the message we want to convey. Your wallet is your ballot. Every time you choose to support a decent pizza, you're sending a message. I want my child to eat real food, not chemicals. It sounds small, but if millions of families do it together, the industry will have to change. Think about it. A pizza dinner isn't just about filling your stomach. It's a memory, your laughter, the joy of the whole family. And that memory deserves to be built on a real pizza, not a fake slice full of preservatives. Now we want to hear from you. Which pizza brand has disappointed you the most? And do you know of any local pizza places that make really good pizza that are worth trying? Please leave a comment below, because this pizza story isn't just mine, it's all of ours. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because here, I will continue to tell you the truth behind seemingly familiar dishes, so that you and your family are always safer and healthier. And a small note for clarity. All the information in this video is compiled from public reports, customer feedback, and scandals previously covered by the press. I'm not saying that every store of these brands is exactly the same, but I want to show you the overall picture of the industry, so you can get a comprehensive view and make informed choices. Remember, pizza isn't bad. Only when people prioritize profit over health does pizza become a deceptive product. But you have the right to choose real pizza and create genuine family memories.